My idea that I'm going to put forward for this is I'm going to call it Disney America. This is an idea where the United States of America is celebrated in a theme park. It gets its own theme park. Now, we've had New Orleans Square. We've got Liberty Square. What did I just say? You know what I mean. The American Adventure in Epcot. But this park, without going into specifics yet, will celebrate America past, present, and future. I think every state in the union can be represented in one way or another. And I think that, you have California Adventure out in Anaheim, where they kind of celebrate one state. Well, I thought this could be where we celebrate all the others as well. And I think this idea has a lot of potential. I think people are going to have a lot of fun trying to think of ideas for this. So my idea is Disney America.
There are problems. So the idea I came up with, I was also influenced by when I was very lucky to go to, I'm sure you guys know, sorry, I was very lucky to go to Disney Sea in Tokyo, which was awesome. It was probably one of the coolest theme parks I've ever been to. It was so amazing. And I always wanted a Disney Sea over here. I was very lucky to go there. And, I don't think a typical American can just pack up and go to Tokyo. And, a lot of East Coasters, West Coasters too. Another thing I was thinking about that influenced my idea for the park was California Adventure. I like the way they mix stuff. I like the look of it. So between, this is for Disney World. This is the fifth gate for Disney World. The way I was thinking is, bring a little bit of that love of Disney Sea, bring a little bit of that love from California Adventure, bring it to the fifth park in Disney World. And my concept, my name of my park I'm going to come up with is called Disney Elements. That's the name of my park I'm coming up with. I want to kind of base it kind of like the Magic Kingdom, but I want to make it big, like kind of not as big as Epcot, maybe somewhere in between. Hey, Dave, what's going on? I still want to go to Disney Sea. I know. Come on, Dave. Wouldn't you love it here too? I agree with you. But I want to kind of not as small as the Magic Kingdom, not as big as Epcot, somewhere in the middle, maybe 250 acres. That's what I was looking at. And each section, instead of a land, would be an element. That's the different pitch I had. So it'd be different lands would be fire, ice, water, metal, and space. That would be the 5 different lands I would have.
Thrill ride. I like a good roller coaster, but for me, I am totally charged up by wonderment. That's what I want to see in an attraction. And so now I'm finally getting to the theme. In 1993, I had gone on Star Tours, and I got off of it, and I said, you could do a lot with that concept. And my mind just got going on this. And I wrote it down, and I created a 26-page concept called A Trip Through the Galaxy. So there you go. My idea for a fifth park is called A Trip Through the Galaxy. And what it is you actually leave Earth and go to another planet, which at the time I called Nuvat. And you have all these experiences on another planet, rides and fun things like news shows and space-themed restaurants and all this stuff. So my idea is that. Good evening, everybody. This is Dean from the Live Place. Thank you for joining. I want to bring on my 2 co-hosts, Robfuz and Jim of More Sunshine Place.
Jim, this might be tradition. Bring it up.
Hang on. Here we go. Good evening.
How's it going,
Guys,
everyone?
Fun guests. Well, we're going to introduce them in a second. In the meantime, I am going to do my best to greet everybody, and this is always fun. Mike Wheeler, good to have you here. Kyle's Vlog, Robfuz, of course, Phantasmic Chronicles. Tony, I know he's got a show going on, so he won't be here. Kelly from the Mickey Bunch, Anthony Manzano, Justin Stevenson, Captain Akron 27, Grace F. Always good to have you here. And Russ Stapleton, nice to have you here. Noah, the Disney World fan. AJC Magic, Amy, good to have you here. T. Marie Photography, nice to have you here. Let's keep going here. Jeff Resendez, nice to have you here. Anthony Mazzano, I think I said hi to you earlier. And thank you guys for joining us. This is awesome. Mouse Talk, hey, Walt and Melissa, they were just live. Nice to have you here. Jonathan Chong, good to see you, my friend. Wanda, Chiquita, Bonita, Byram, nice to have you here. I don't know if this is your first time here, but welcome. Let's see. Keep going. Road Trip Dave, of course, you'll see him shortly. Justin Stevenson, I said hi. Viapree Project, I want to say real quickly, Ed and Mindy are going live this Saturday night, I believe. I forgot the time, but it's Viapree Project is returning to live streaming. We're so glad to have it back. So nice to have you here. Disney Nerd Herders. Hi, Charlie and Stacy. Nice to have you here. Emily, nice to see you. LSU Mom. PTV2. Hey, Ben. Boy. Okay, here we go. If I missed you, please recomment.
And you. That way you don't miss anyone.
What do you say, Rob?
No, I just said and you. That way,
And
it's
exactly.
everyone out there. Yes.
I feel
Hey,
like
you.
I'm almost there. It's Joey's World. Nice to have you here. Alyssa
Joey
Stenberg.
in the house. What's up,
See
buddy?
you here. All right, really getting there, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Jim, great show, by the way, today. So much
Oh,
fun.
thanks. It was fun. Love having
I
my
never
son
really
on.
knew what Fat Tuesday really. It was like a celebration of like indulging yourself before Ash Wednesdays. That was very interesting. I didn't know that.
Thanks. I'll be honest. I never really celebrated it before, but I thought it would be fun to do it tonight.
It's awesome.
Sherry's
I love
awesome. Travels. Nice to have you here. As
Sherry.
always, she's got some really cool videos out lately. And Pam's fam, good to have you here. All right, guys, I think I'm caught up. Thank you very much. All right, so guys, tonight I'm going to let Rob kind of take over here in a second, but thank you for joining us. I felt like the beginning might have gone a little bit long, but we wanted to at least tell you what did we discuss week one. We're really designing a fifth gate for Disney World. And so I am going to, Rob, let you introduce our guests.
Hey, we have Derick from D&G Explorers and Roadtrip Dave from Roadtrip Dave. What's up, guys? How's it going? What's going on? Hold on a sec. Don't jump the gun yet. Hold on. We introduced the guys. This is episode 2. A little preview. March. What do we say, Dean? March 24th. Episode 3 of the Fifth Gate will be there. And don't forget, subscribe to the live play. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Congratulations on over 500 subscribers, Dean. I'm so proud of you. So awesome. Let's get into what's going on. Dave and Derick, welcome to the Fifth Gate. It's awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you. We watched the first episode, and it was fun, and I loved all your guys' great ideas, and I can't tell you how excited to be a part of the show tonight. So thank you so much for asking.
Thank you, Derick. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jim, I
I'm
think
a little
No worries. Should I go?
yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Just before I begin, I saw the comment, T. Marie Photography. If there's anything I love doing, it's educating. So I'm so happy that she got to, she learned something from my live stream. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that was fun to read about just now.
Jim, you're educational.
I know. Okay, here we go. Our first episode. You saw the recap at the beginning of the show. The three of us up top here, we all came up with our ideas for a fifth theme park in Walt Disney World. And tonight, the idea is we now fill those theme parks with rides and attractions. So we've come up with ideas for some rides for our theme parks, and we're going to share those. But we are also looking forward to seeing what the chat has to offer in terms of ideas for rides in these theme parks as well. So if you're in the chat and you've got an idea, we would love to hear about it. So start typing away. Let us know. We'll give you ours here. The 5 of us will. And then we're going to see what you guys had to offer. So I'm looking forward to this. Is like a brainstorming session. So we can come up with something, and then we can mold it into something better. Because my first draft is the first draft of anything is garbage. So we're gonna need we're gonna need teamwork here tonight. So we're gonna get that.
Keep in mind, guys, for you guys leaving the comments, remember, Bob Chapek is no longer in charge of Walt Disney World parks. So now, think of you being Bob Chapek, and maybe we could get you in there. Just a little off.
I was going to do a whole routine how the 5th gate was so popular that Bob Chapek, whatever, he picked us up and everything, and then you heard the news. So yeah, he is now the CEO of Disney. By the way, I just blown away. We were talking about it beforehand. I know Dave is very upset about it. I'm very blown away by it. Just very sudden, very came up real quick. It just shocked,
Spaceship Earth, man. Spaceship
and
Earth.
You could say, Dave, what happened? Tell the chat.
Yeah, Jim with the sound effect. That's awesome. Yeah. So if you guys if you guys have been in a shell for the whole day, 2 things happened. Bob Chapek became CEO of Disney, like Rob said. But the biggest thing that's heartbreaking to me is Spaceship Earth it's official. The date has been set. May 26th is going to be the date that they close Spaceship Earth for refurbishment, right before my trip started. So I'm
sorry.
I'm not thrilled. I'm just not thrilled. Okay.
So sorry.
Rant over.
No, it's all right. You can rant.
For now.
That's what this show's about, ranting. For now. Derek, what do you think? What did you think about the news today?
I don't know. I mean, he's been with the company since how long? I thought PTV said like since 19, I don't know, a long time is when he's been there. So I know he's going to be tutored for a while. So I'm willing to give him a chance. I don't know if it will make that much of a difference. We'll see. I'm optimistic, not pessimistic.
Oh.
Cautiously optimistic, maybe?
Yes.
Is that a Freudian slip?
Possibly.
I just, I think he wanted to retire for a while. They kept him on to do a bunch of different things, especially the acquisitions, Disney Plus and everything. But just kind of give him a little bit, man. It just seemed really fishy. Like, okay, he's going. There's Bob Chapek. I'm doing creative. It's just like, just give the, why could you say, oh, next month he's stepping down, or next week, or tomorrow? Like, why do you have to? Boom, it's done. I just felt strange, but I don't know. We're here to take over. We're here to do our ideas. We're here. We're the new CEO. We're coming up with our ideas. So, all right. So I think a good thing to come up with here, guys, real quick. We're not going to really get into details though, but I want to go around the horn. Start with Dean. I want to know your favorite ride in Disney and any Disney property. Dean, what is your? Because I think knowing that, you kind of see where your ideas are come from, what you like, what you maybe want to fashion your ideas after. So, Dean, what's your favorite ride? I kind of know this answer already. But.
It's currently Living with the Land, but all time it's Horizons, and that I would say influences me more than Living with the Land. I just like Living with the Land now, but Horizons would be my influencer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Horizons too as a classic. I think my favorite all-time classic rides as a kid growing up, Pirates and Haunted Mansion. I'm going to tie for first with those. So that's I love those dark classic rides, boats, transportation, vehicles, all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to go with. So Horizons, and that's classic, and of course Pirates and Haunted. So it's my number ones. Go ahead there, Mr. Jim. What do you think?
Well, I love the new rides. I love, I'll mention Flight of Passage is awesome. Rise of the Resistance is awesome. But
haven't been
My-
to Raj yet. So. That might be my new answer.
You'll dig it. But my favorite ride still is not a thrill ride. It is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. And I will always love that ride. And I've given reasons before why I love it so much. It provides shade. It's relaxing. You get to chat with people. You get to go into other attractions on this attraction. It's just, it's, I don't ever remember it not being a part of my life. So that's my favorite ride. The People Mover is still my favorite ride.
Great choice.
Great choice.
Thanks.
Dave?
Well, you guys have had a ton of awesome answers. My favorite ride. I mean, now I'm an adrenaline junkie, right? So I'm going to go with rock and roll, adrenaline rushing, stunts and everything else. Rock and Roller Coaster as the number one favorite ride in Walt Disney World. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, once that opens up, kind of like Rise of the Resistance, that may change. Of course, then again, I haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance either, so that could change as well. For the classics, I mean, I'm right there with Rob with the Pirates. I mean, I will never cease. I will always love Pirates. Every time I go in, I go in there and I literally am immersed in a completely different world. I'm you're seeing these guys just having fun, setting the town on fire and drinking some alcohol and good old fashioned fun.
Sounds like Mardi Gras.
There you go. And then another boat ride, Jungle Cruise. I think it's one of the best rides that integrates live action with the animatronics and with the theming. I love the corny jokes. I love the puns. My wife, my kids, they don't understand me. They don't understand it. But I love it.
Awesome. Eric, of course.
This might be kind of a surprise. I really like the Disneyland rides. And Jim can attest to when he went over there recently. It's hard to compete when you got the Incredicoaster, Galaxies of the Guardian, Tower of Terror drop, Space Mountain, and then Jim's favorite. You have to go on it with him, Splash Mountain. It has to be Jim's favorite. I'm surprised it wasn't.
Stay away from it.
But surprisingly, I would say
the
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland Paris I would probably say my favorite that I've actually been on of the thrill rides, and that's because of how they set it up differently than the other parks. But I would but Carousel of Progress also has a special place in my heart too.
Speaking about special, yeah, those are great picks, guys. Definitely. Speaking of special things, I've kind of skipped over here a little bit. I wanted to ask Dave and Derick. How'd you first find out about Disney? How did it shape your thinking, and what do you think? How do you think it's going? How do you think the future of the parks are going to be? Derick, we'll go back to you first here.
The first time I went to Disneyland was, I'm guessing it was between 85 and 87. So I was almost 20 years old. And I'll be honest, it wasn't the first theme park I went to. And I really didn't enjoy it the first time because there wasn't thrill rides. It was a different experience than what I had gone to Six Flags Magic Mountain, the Great America up in Santa Clara. So when I went to Disneyland, it was kind of like, there's no thrill rides here. But then I started reading on Walt Disney, and I bought book after book after book. Buying the old e-ticket magazine. I don't know if you guys remember them, which they would feature rides. I have tons of those. And then I started looking at the parks in a whole different aspect. When I still go to the parks, I look at the people's faces. I like to people watch. I watch how the traffic flows. I look at how simple things of how they put like not so much the decorations, but just everything they theme in a particular ride at the land itself. I always find that incredibly fascinating. I
That's
bought
great.
the Fantastical Imagineer. Probably about 12 years ago, I made a map, which I have down here, a map of a theme park that I wanted. So all that stuff kind of spawned my. I love Walt Disney. He's definitely an inspiration and an idol. And just from there, I know it keeps growing. I don't expect Walt would have created the same thing, but I just love what Disney creates and their imagination behind it.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I always saw in growing up and so the magic of California. You had that. I'm a New Yorker, New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey when I was a kid, and all that West Coast stuff. My dream was to go to Universal Studios. My dream was to go to Magic Mountain, and Disneyland when I was a kid. And that's an interesting thing that you evolved into that. So that's awesome, Derick. And Dave, what about you? Where'd you get the love of Disney in the parks? And
Man, I tell people a lot of times I was raised on. I was spoiled. I'll just be upfront about that. But I was raised on Disney parks. I was raised on Walt Disney World. My first trip, I don't even remember it. It's 1975. But there is a picture of my grandparents holding me. I'm 1 year old, right on one of the the boats that take you across the lagoon. I think I saw I think the Polynesian was in the background of the picture. I remember it to this day, and we didn't do consecutive Disney trips until about 84. But my grandparents went with us that year. They didn't go with us from the remainder of that time on. It was just our immediate family. We went once every year from like 84. I mean, literally until my Air Force years, which was 1996, 97. So,
that's awesome.
oh yeah, no, I mean, and then there were times we went twice a year. That was such a privilege to go and experience not just the cool part of summer and the fun of all the parks and all the people there during the summer, but then to be there for the Christmas New Year's Eve time frame, and just to take in the decorations and take in the buzz, right, of being there. And one of the things that I learned just as I continued staying there, we would go to other places, like we would, being from South Carolina, we'd go to Myrtle Beach, or I'd even been to some other beaches in Florida. I'd been to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'd been to all these different places. But the one thing I noticed that always brought me back to Disney was, and Leanne Sooner Girl actually talks about this a lot, was the excellence. How Disney, just the culture of Walt Disney that he put in the company and that he put into his parks was, everybody can come in and pay a decent price and be given world-class entertainment, world-class rides, and world-class treatment. I mean, and there's no other park that has really come close in recent years. I think Universal's kind of nipping at their heels now. But look how long it took, right? 30 some odd years for that to happen. And so that's one of the things that's rubbed off on me is, that's how I want to do my work, in my job. That's how I want to be as a dad. That's how I want to, serve in my church. I want to give my all, give it, everything that we should try to do 100% in excellence. So.
Hey, Nathan's saying, what's up? What's up, Nathan? How you doing? Well, guys in the chat, we're sorry. Dean's popping up some of the comments. We would definitely want to see some of your ideas as we go. Dean will be popping them up and everything. So I told Dean before the stream, I get a little intense on this show, so got to concentrate a little more, come up with our ideas and everything. So we're not ignoring you guys. One of the future episodes we're going to do too, I think it's a total interaction with the whole chat, right, Dean? We're talking about. Yep. So can't wait till we get to that. But thank you guys so much for coming. A lot of people here. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the Live Place YouTube channel, and definitely check out theliveplace.com. Dean's awesome. So, all right, guys, so let's dive into this. So, we saw the recaps.
Awesome, Stacey.
We'll talk. What happened, Dave? My first trip
I was looking at Stacy. Her first trip was 1974. So that's the year I was born, Stacy. So you're older than me.
my first trip was 78, I believe it was. I was like a teenager. So yeah, I went a little later. And we went 3 or 4 times as a younger kid with my parents.
Yeah.
Dean, what was your first trip?
Same as Stacy, 1974. I was 14. Drove all the way to Disneyland and spent one day there. And just like Derick said, the ABCDE tickets. And my favorite ride by far, Pirates of the Caribbean, was amazing.
And Jim?
My first trip, I don't remember it, but it was 1972. I was 1. And there's a picture of me on the carousel with my uncle. He's holding me, making sure I don't fall off. But when Dave was talking about his first trip, it sounded a lot like mine, where my grandparents were with us, and just the overall, the theming, the immersiveness. They could easily put up bars or ropes for the queues of the rides and let that be, but no, in the Jungle Cruise, it's ropes and Space Mountain, it looks futuristic and everything is done so well. And I think that's what we all like about it. And he mentioned that inspires him in his life. And it does for me too. In my classroom, I've got, lights and I decorate for absolutely everything. And it's, I didn't put 2 and 2 together until he mentioned it, but I do the same thing. And it's funny. It was funny to hear that, but, and then we wouldn't go every year, but, every other year we went quite often. We never went twice in one year. I didn't do that until I moved here to Florida, but it was funny to hear such a similar story.
Did you move to Florida to be close to Disney?
We moved for the weather, but being close to Disney was
a
happy accident.
For more sunshine, please.
For more sunshine.
More sunshine, please. Absolutely.
All right, let's stick with this. We'll get to the main topic here. So, I love that recap. I love the way Dean puts together this stuff. Great job, Dean. I love the recap. It was so cool. Just brings back our memories we did from episode 1. We came up with our 3 different theme park ideas. It was funny because I didn't really prepare much for tonight because I prepared a whole dissertation. I think Dean did too. He had a bunch of things. It sounds like Derick's done a lot of stuff too from his different ideas and everything. And I think Jim had a bunch of different ideas too from his last thing. So I still have my notes from the last show. So we're going to go over. I'm going to start with Jim. Jim's park was refresh our memory what your park was.
Disney America.
Okay.
And this was just a celebration of our country. And in the recap, I had mentioned that, there's a California adventure. There is a celebration of America in so many of the parks already, but this park, my idea would be the focal point. The whole thing, there could be an entire colonial land, imagine Liberty Square being larger and having more in it, but whatever, it's a work in progress. But my favorite subject while I was in school was the Revolutionary War. Liberty Square is my favorite part of the Magic Kingdom. It just it wasn't until after we did our show that I realized, that's maybe not necessarily the most original idea, but
it's good. I apologize too because I said they already had that concept,
and I didn't know.
But then I re-listened to your description again, and I was really intrigued. The second time I heard it, I was like, "Oh, he's got something there." So it's cool. It doesn't matter. You're right. But good.
Well, great minds think alike. But are we ready? Are we delving into rides? Or
let's do it. Let's do like 1 or 2 rides each. We won't get too long, and we'll go around the horn, and we'll go around the horn 2-3 times. Let's see how we do on time. So
okay. Well, I had difficulty narrowing it down, so my finished product here is kind of an amalgam. It's kind of a catch-all, and I'll explain.
Okay.
I wanted a ride that celebrated the whole country. So instead of giving you a ride or an attraction that just did a region or one state or something like that, this ride I came up with celebrates the entire country. I also wanted to include IP, and that doesn't mean more bathrooms. It means I want to include intellectual property in this ride. I think that's where it's going. There's so many, there are just fewer rides, original rides now. Everything involves an existing property of Disney. So I kind of included that too. Let me just get on with it. I know, too late.
Let's do it.
So I kind of wanted a tour of America. And I haven't seen this movie, but I think there's a movie that could lend itself well to being a theme for this ride. And I'm talking about a Goofy movie. And I think, and somebody help me out, I've never seen it, but I think they drive cross country. Do they not? Does anybody, do they
That's
do
right.
that? Okay.
That's right. They're going on a road trip.
Fantastic. Perfect. Road trip, Dave. So what this could be is Goofy and Max. Is that the little Goofy?
Yep.
They're
Max.
getting from
Yeah.
one side of the country to the other. It's a dark ride. So on the way, they're passing different areas of the country. And within these scenes, we're seeing different Disney characters. And I am inspired by what Disneyland has done with their It's a Small World, where they've injected characters into their It's a Small World. So if, and I tried to make a list of all of the Disney movies that had state-specific moments in them or settings. So if they were to, and these aren't necessarily the most popular movies, but I thought that would add to the fun of this. Like, where else are you going to see the Rescuers? Except in this ride, when you're driving down south through the bayou.
Ooh, man.
Went to Florida, and Orange Bird is somewhere in that scene.
Oh, dude.
I'm
sold. I'm sold. Let's build it now. I like it.
I was looking through all these different movies, and I'm trying to find, well, what takes place in America? Pete's Dragon takes place in Maine. Bang!
Oh, dude, stop. That's
I know.
awesome. That's awesome.
New York has a few. So, and New York's big. So we can see Oliver and Company in one place. Bolt in another. I guess Bolt takes place. What else in New York? Wally. Maybe not Wally. Maybe that's not the best representation of New York. But what else we got? Brother Bear takes place in Alaska. Did you know that? I've never even seen it. But Pocahontas is in Virginia. And there's got to be a way where we're celebrating all of these places with all of these characters. And it would wind up in California. And perhaps the scene in California is Disneyland. And there we see the family from Inside Out. We see Goofy and Max having arrived to their destination. We see what else? Cars. Their final ride was in California. That final race, and perhaps between scenes we could see the Mack truck taking us from one area to another, or we follow him from one place or another. I think this idea has a lot of possibilities, and I know I'm forgetting a ton, so I'm hoping people can help me out with this. And then just generically, Chip and Dale could represent the North. The Country Bears, we could revisit them in a scene from the South. I think there are a lot of possibilities. The more I thought about it, the more excited I got. So this is I called it a Goofy movie, an American celebration, and it's a tour. It's a Small World meets Jungle Cruise meets the American Adventure. That was my idea for my ride.
Jim, I love that idea. I mean, because this is, of course now, okay, again, I am going to slam Bob Chapek again, but because he deserves it. Yeah. But the IP thing, you're literally throwing in a ton of IP, right, that Disney isn't using, but really could just market it and improve it and get people interested in those characters like Bolt, like the Goofy movie, like the Rescuers. Holy cow! I mean, when did have we seen anything with the Rescuers at Disney? That is an awesome.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean but I mean, it combines classic characters that people may have forgotten with an awesome concept of just traveling the country. I mean, I love it.
Well, thanks. And how many times have we been into the parks? And there's something we all love that might not be the most popular property, and it just this would be perfect here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a ride that pleases all of that. So I thought I had fun.
I like that a lot.
Researching.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks.
Gonna go jump over down to Derick there. Derick, ride idea?
I looked at it a little bit differently. I looked at if you were constructing a theme park, what would draw someone into a park? Every park has a roller coaster. So my main draw would be a roller coaster. But how can you make it different than any other roller coaster in any park?
Here, look at
What's that?
Bob's here. Look at the
Bob's in the chat.
Eric,
hire this guy.
Dude. Decrease parking fees. Keep Spaceship Earth open till like June 10th, okay? And we'll be square, okay? That's all I need. That's all I need. That's awesome. Whoever did that is awesome.
I thought I saw Bob Iger on the other one. Was it on Mouse Talks chat? Yeah. So one of the things when I look back at Disney history in the parks, we'll just start with the newer ones. When they build a land, they don't have a whole lot of attractions in them. You might have 2 or 3 attractions, usually 2. They might be incredibly well done, but there's not, to me, a lot. Once you go in there, there's shops and a couple of rides. I look back in history and I look at attractions like the Matterhorn, which had the roller coaster going through it. And then they also had the buckets that went through it, which was kind of cool to have 2 attractions to go into each other. I look at Splash Mountain, and how they have the train that goes through it, and that cool interaction park. When you're on the ride and you're looking up, is a train going to come by? Or if you're on the train, who's down there coming by on the water ride? I think that kind of interaction is cool. What I envision would have a mountain. So you would have a mountain with multiple rides featured in it, not just one roller. Yes, kind of like your Elements that you're talking about. So you would have a roller coaster built on speed. I don't think a roller coaster necessarily have to have all these spins. I love fast coasters. The Incredicoaster does have a loop in it, but Jim can attest that's a very smooth roller coaster. It's a long roller coaster and it's very fast. And the thought to me of going through a dark mountain, going very quick, coming outside at times, that would be an awesome experience. But also maybe someone doesn't want to experience that, have another track, a separate named ride, which would go through it and they could intertwine. That would be a lot slower pace. In addition to that, why just stop at 2 rides? Have like something like a boat ride that goes through it. I kind of thought of, in terms of Disney's history, if you're going to have a mountain, why not the Mineral King Resort, which is where the original idea of the Country Bear Jamboree came from. It was supposed to be in the California, where the Mineral King Ski Resort, and they decided it wasn't going to work out there, but the Country Bear Jamboree came to one of the parks, Disneyland. Well, why not bring that to reality and have the Mineral King Mountain and have multiple experiences from it? So make it like a ski resort area of the park. Have a water ride that goes through it, a slow moving one, which would be great in the Florida heat. But I think the topper of it is, as I mentioned, like the train goes through Splash Mountain. Why not have the monorail go through this? Ooh. Jim had mentioned that would be cool to have the monorail linked into going from Magic Kingdom, Epcot and the new park, have it in the middle there. Why not have, like at Disneyland, the monorail goes through both California Adventure and also Disneyland? Why not have it go through part of the park like it does at Epcot, but actually go through an attraction so they get that wow factor of, if you're coming into the park and you're arriving on a monorail, you get that cool feeling of what you're going to experience. So I would go for a ski resort in Florida. We're California boys. We don't like the humidity. We want as cold as we can. So that would be my idea of what I would want to be excited about when I would be going to a park.
Nice. If it's anything like the Incredicoaster, I'm in.
Hey, what I like about your idea too is that it's what they call, and I've read this in several like Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds when it comes to just theme park science. It's that ride would be a people eater, literally. It would.
Well, figuratively.
Oh,
Yeah.
Figuratively, metaphorically speaking,
Yes.
it would take huge crowds away from the streets, from the walkways, to where people can still walk around and not feel like they were being herded like cattle. And the other thing is too, to your ride, it actually takes into account people's tolerances, right, for different types of speeds that they want. Where the grandparents may want a relaxing ride, the teenagers want to, go extreme. It's all right there. That's a great idea.
Yeah, when I was talking about my Elements Park, that's really what I was going to kind of dwell on too. It was a great idea, Derick. I was thinking more like a mountain, 3 different rides spawning off into the separate lands. Like you would even board them from the separate lands, and then they would come into the middle. There'd be part volcano, part waterfall, part snow and ice, like a metallic look. And that's a great idea, Derick. That's kind of what I had too in mind. So that was neat. So, all right, let's go to who wants to go now? Let's go to Dean. You want to go next? Let's have Dean.
I'd like to, because there's just so much about both Jim's favorite ride and Derick's idea that spoke to me. And Derick, the way you intertwine stuff, that just in my concept was a trip to the galaxy, and part of it is to have multiple rides converge at different speeds, at different angles, but you see each other. So that wasn't going to be what I was going to suggest, but I love that. So my ideas, I have 2, and one is based on Jim's favorite ride, the TTA. I just think whatever this park is, we need to take TTA to a whole new level. We need to have a slow-moving ride. Maybe it varies in speed at times, as the TTA does, but goes through the entire park, in and out of buildings, and it's to tell a story. So it's not just, okay, we'll go here, we'll go there, but there's a story to it. So that's one of my rides. And how long can you make a ride? This is a question for the panel here. How long can you make a ride before it's too long? Because I'm picturing something pretty long.
Well, the Ellen show, that was 45 minutes, right?
Yeah,
that's the longest ride I can think of. And they got rid of it. So I don't know the answer. I guess I don't know.
Well, here's the thing though with that, Jim. I think that Universe of Energy would have been the ride itself is just a little too slow for small kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the last time it was open, I think my daughter was 2, and she was squirming after about 20 minutes. So but a lot of rides aren't even 10 minutes long. It's usually the shows. But I feel like, Dean, what you're talking about there, you're talking about a whole tour of the park, like on a people mover type system.
Yeah.
I think people would ride that all over the place. I think you see how crowded people mover is now.
And it would do what you said. It would be designed to bring masses of people through, and controlling the crowds, as World of Motion did. I don't remember the numbers, but World of Motion swallowed a lot of the crowd,
Yes.
like a big percentage. So it would be like
Good
that.
point.
So that's one of them. And then the other one is simply, I love improv comedy. And so my idea is not a ride, but it's more of an attraction that is news-like, and it would be funny, of course, but it would be having improv comedians as news anchor people, and it would be something that, it's just more of a sit down, let's just enjoy some entertainment here. So that are my two ideas I had prepared
With
for
space,
tonight.
though. The people are in space.
And
that
so
part of it?
mine would be space themed because, yeah, it's a trip through the galaxy. You could put it really anywhere, but yes, space themed.
There's a section in Hollywood Studios right now for The Incredibles. They call it Municeburg, and it's that little dead end before you hit Toy Story. If you go right, you go to Toy Story Land, but if you go straight, it's The Incredibles area, and they've got this Edna Mode Museum back there or whatever. Well, when that first opened, they had a reporter on the street, and he was dressed like a old-timey newsman, but he was followed by a camera, and they would show what he was doing on a big screen at the end of the street. And he would interview guests that were in the Incredibles area there. And it was awesome. It was so funny. He was so good at it. So what you just said kind of reminded me of that. This could take place, in a newsroom or, more like a newscast with anchor people and stuff. But what you just mentioned reminded me of what I saw in Municeburg and how much I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And then my other thought, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Jim.
My other thought was that for a long ride, like a longer version of the People Mover, it could be the People Mover and the railroad combined, where guests could take the People Mover to another section of the park. Their car can go off the track into a second track, like a pit stop almost, so they can get off at another location and then like hop back on. Something like that, perhaps.
We had a council in Minneapolis trying to come up with some mass transportation, and that was part of that design, was that it was more pod like, but you could somehow elect to have part of it get off at points so that you weren't stuck for the 45 or whatever minutes it might be. So, and also I just wanted to say, at the heart of when you're talking about this Incredibles thing, is I think improv comedians are, I'll tell you the thing that's beautiful about improv. You know what the number one rule of improv comedy is? It's nothing is off the table.
Mm-hmm.
You take everything in positively. You never use negativity in that kind of humor. And that's why those kinds of shows and people are so funny. So
yeah, what I saw, he was hilarious because he was interacting with the crowd, and what he was taking what they were giving him, and he was, he was making us laugh by kind of poking fun at them, but in a good-natured way. It was a blast, and I was just watching TV there in the middle of Hollywood Studios for a while. But he was very good at it. There's a lot of potential with that idea.
I think somebody's got some of that improv idea going on right now with.
I just want to thank Robert Iger and Bob Chapek for joining the Fifth Gate tonight. That was awesome. Thank you.
What an honor!
Thanks, Bobs.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I
think I'm going to go next. I just one of my big idea was kind of what Derick was talking about with that central thing too, but. The more and more I'm thinking, the more and more I think, I be honest with you, I kind of forgot that one of my favorite rides of all time, and I've mentioned this in my streams too, is Winnie the Pooh Honey Pod Adventure in Tokyo Disneyland. And it is a trackless ride. And I love trackless rides. And I love the technology and everything. And I think Dean was kind of asking, how do you guys think the future is going to go? And I think trackless rides, and I mentioned this in the live stream and everything, and I think a lot of my rides will be trackless. I think it's really cool, like Rise of Resistance. I can't wait to go on it. But part of that, the trackless rides and the technology, I want to do more interaction. And I've been kind of looking at that new, the new Nintendo Land that's going in Japan and everything. I don't think a lot of it's out there. I think they talked a little bit about stuff and everything. but I really love the interaction with the bracelets, and it seems like the user is going to be doing a lot of stuff as a video game, as like a reality and everything. So I heard the other day about something where you would have to do certain steps, and you would have to hit the like the money, like the coins, like in the game and everything, and you would have to do certain steps to get to it, you know, to access a certain room or a certain area or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Hey Todd, welcome to the stream. I think that would be really cool. More interaction, more thing. Jim, weren't they, what Galaxy says, weren't there supposed to be more interaction, more credits, and more people interaction and talking and stuff like that? It just didn't seem like, when I went, it just didn't seem like that was there.
There's that, and there were supposed to be droids around everywhere. There are no room. There's no room for the droids, but yeah, I had heard that and forgot that was even a thing. But
that's what I would envision my park. That's what I envision my park. Those, of course, it's kind of like the greatest hits of all parks and everything. Like I said, mine was the Elements Park: fire, ice, water, metal, space, and the different attractions and villains and Marvel. I'm going to throw everything at it. Oh, the whole kitchen sink. I want to combine the best of those worlds and everything. So I think it'd just be really cool. So Dave, what do you think? That was some of my ideas. I can go on. I could 3 hours, but Dave, what are you thinking? What's your ride?
I was just like, I don't know, like some of y'all's rides have kind of coincided with what I had, and I'll just be honest, my idea is outlandish. It's I seriously, I mean, considering how much money they spent with Rise of the Resistance, right, putting that into place, this would just blow it away. I mean, and let me kind of give you the premise here. Okay, so my home park, right? My home park is Carowinds, right? One of the things that Carowinds can brag about is I think it's 325 foot tall Giga coaster. It's supposed.
Oh
no! Hang in there, guys. Dave's a little bit of.
Bob Iger heard him talking about another park and put the kibosh on it. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Dave, you got interrupted there, Dave. Go ahead.
What happened? So anyway, this coaster, this is where that's what gave me the idea, is behind Fury 325. Look it up online, Fury 325. This is kind of like where it started. I would want to have something that would literally, it would probably fill up an additional like 1/4 of a park at Hollywood Studios. But I mean, if I have my own park, like I'm thinking, it would be totally different. I'd have a lot more room. I'm calling it the Death Star Shoots ride. And what I mean is, you're going to. Okay, yeah. I mean, I might not be able to describe it that way. Y'all do such a better job of putting those ideas together. But what I'm suggesting is, all right, you know what Spaceship Earth looks like? Double it. We're talking 360 feet. And I would want to make a geosphere that looks exactly like the Death Star. And it would be the tallest Giga coaster in the Western Hemisphere. It would be indoors, and what it would simulate riding through the Death Star and let's say you're actually being pursued by Imperial troops, and you're going down the garbage disposal, you're going down the garbage chute, and so instead of like landing in the compactor area, it would be like a huge high-speed roller coaster ride through parts of the Death Star, where you might you might ride by the reactor, right? You see the huge reactor, or maybe you go by one of the trenches, and hey, you might see some X-wings like coming, starting to blast the Death Star or something like that. And it would be a dual Giga coaster as well, where one ride wouldn't exactly be the same as the other. And so the speed that the Fury 325 goes, the maximum speed is like think it's 90 miles an hour.
I'm looking at the pictures, Dave. What is the drop of that initial drop? It looks humongous.
The initial it's 325 feet from the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, when you're going up that thing and you just keep going up and you keep going up and you keep going up, you're going, when is this going to end? Like, how high off the earth am I going to go? And so you zoom down, you're going about 90, close to 92 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic.
Oh, you guys got to look it up. Wow.
It's just absolutely fantastic.
Indoors? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm thinking Spaceship Earth, but taller and wider and bigger. And like I said, I mean, hey, I'm not an engineer, but I was thinking, if Disney wants to really sell its Star Wars IP, if it wants to bring in, whoa, my thing just died again. Am I still here?
Here.
Okay.
Good.
What the heck, man? Technology and me, man. It always goes to pot. But when you think about how tall and wide that thing would be, it would make an exhilarating ride. It wouldn't be the same ride. And I did think of like the people mover concept. You would have a people mover that would take you around the entire perimeter of the Death Star, right? Or maybe not on the exterior, but maybe on the interior. I hadn't figured out how the logistics would go for that yet. But
yeah, like you said, Dave, 325 feet, 95 miles an hour. You know, the impressive part is it's a 3.5 minute ride. That's the impressive part, that it's long. You know, I really like that.
Oh, the track itself is over a mile long. And so if you think about getting something like that into the into a structure the size of, that would look like the Death Star on the outside, yes, it would be iconic, right? I mean, it would definitely be iconic. It would be very costly to build, but I feel like if you're going to go big, you go big, right? And so when you're doing that, you're taking up, I mean, I'll say that you're looking at probably Carowinds. When I think about how many people that Fury takes up with Carowinds, I mean, it's a fair amount. I mean, you go in there, it could take up a lot of people in the queue area, right? And then if you have the people mover ride that takes you just a little tour around the Death Star, around the interior and stuff, people would ride that nonstop. I think that would be itself like a 5-10 minute ride as well. So, I'm just like, if we're gonna do Star Wars IP, man, let's do it. let's do it high speed, and let's and do something just amazing. I'm not going to say like Rise of the Resistance is itself, like in terms of interaction, is amazing, but I mean from an adrenaline standpoint, from a kind of like what Derick was talking about when you were saying when you first went to Disneyland, and you're kind of going, hey, what's the big deal? This would blow teenagers away. They would be wanting to go to Disney World or Disneyland just to ride this ride.
I could definitely see something like that, like virtual reality, so they could have the goggles to have like that experience.
Yeah.
And even have like scents going on, so you'll smell trash. You'll smell like the hot wires.
Yes.
That would be fun to do. And if people don't like virtual reality, then they could experience the roller coaster like in the dark or something. Yeah.
Well, I think SeaWorld does that with the is it the Manta?
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's or the Kraken. The Kraken.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Oh, Derick, you just jumped it up a notch, man. That's even you made my idea better. that I think that's a great way to do that, because then you could integrate stuff like lightsabers and a whole bunch of other characters in it and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a brainer. That's no.
That would be impressive.
It'd be hard.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go big or go home. Yeah, that's what I say.
Just envisioning it's crazy.
I know.
But I think anything less than that, Dave. I love it.
Remember, you guys said anything goes. So I'm like, okay, I'm this is my idea. I'm going all the way.
Well, one of the things when you see Epcot Spaceship Earth is how impressive it is when you walk up to it.
Yeah.
First, that's probably one of the reasons why I love Epcot. Walking into the park, you're like, wow, look at that. And can you imagine something even bigger than that? That would be like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think you have to worry about the weather and stuff. But what's that, Rob?
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is 3 times the size of Spaceship Earth, so
Is
Oh,
that
crazy.
awesome.
So
That's
No
awesome.
moon.
That's
no
a
moon. That was
space
awesome stage.
station. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're down to our last 15 minutes. We're on a tight schedule here, so
Yes.
where do we go here, Dean? What do you want to do? Do you want to
so we got 15, and I've got to have just a couple minutes to the end to wrap it up. So there's been some great suggestions in the chat. It's really hard to go back and remember them, but watch the replay because people have some great ideas. But I don't know, Rob. I'm happy just putting comments up here.
Oh, I do want to go around. Don't forget, guys, theliveplace.com. We're going to do a couple plugs here. Theliveplace.com. Subscribe to this channel. You want to talk about anything else with the Live Place team?
Just basically because I've got 4 fantastic streamers. We're up to 79 now. Here are 4 of them: Robfuz, Jim of More Sunshine, Roadtrip Dave, one of my very first streamers, and Derick of D&G Explorers with Gregory. Awesome streamers, and you guys, thank you for being here. And all of their links are in the description. So definitely, if there's any chance you're not subscribed to them, go subscribe. But I think you guys probably are. But yeah, we got the next new shows coming up on March 10th, and the next 5th Gate is March 24th.
Okay, and then what you want to go over? What that next show is going to be?
The 10th or the 24th? Oh, the 24th.
Well, the 10th is the news show, so talk about all different news and everything. The next 5th Gate episode 3.
I have it right here, Rob.
Go for it.
Greatest hits. I had to bring it up.
That's awesome.
So theme park greatest hits. So this is fun, and we did touch a little bit on it tonight, but it's how to incorporate the best attractions and the elements of other theme parks into the 5th Gate, which we talked about tonight. But I think this is fun because people are attached and they love certain rides. You know, like I would like to talk more about World of Motion and Horizons and how there are aspects of those rides that we should incorporate. So that is next.
Love that. I can't wait. That's really cool. And of course, let's go around the horn. Jim, More Sunshine, please. He goes live every Tuesday at 7:30. He is awesome. His show was, if we just before this show, definitely check it out. A lot of fun. Jim, you want to talk about anything else about your channel?
My new toy is a 360-degree camera. So I've put out a couple of videos with that, just a few minutes long. But I'm hoping to take it to the Flower and Garden Festival. I think that's going to be tailor-made for this camera, and just walk around so people can look at the topiaries they want to see. The people can look at the different flower displays. You know, I don't have to, stop and point my camera at something. The camera will capture it. And the beauty of a 360-degree video like that is the viewer gets to choose what they're looking at with their device. So I've got some plans for that
I just
camera.
watch your reaction, Jim. You're so funny. I just watch you.
And I got to keep in mind, I'm always on. I'm always on camera, so there's no escape. But hopefully, I'm walking by things that are more interesting to look at than myself. So that's what I got going. But gentlemen, I just got word. It's I've got to go, and since we're so close to the end of the stream anyway, I'm gonna wish everybody a good night. Dean, this was awesome, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I'm going to watch this live stream again because I enjoyed it so much.
But this was great, man.
Indeed. I agree. Thanks, everybody. I will see everybody soon.
All right.
Take it easy.
Bye, Jim.
Check out the channel. Of course, Road Trip Dave goes live every other Saturday. Is that what it is, Dave?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Talk about Road Trip Dave. Go ahead.
Well, all right. I have been kind of cranking out a few Hershey videos. I did a Hershey Chocolate World video. So I posted that last week. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Also, be sure to be on point for this week. I'm going to start posting some roller coaster videos from Hershey. Did a POV ride video, just putting the final touches on it. Should get that out. It's the roller coaster there is called Laugh Track. It's actually It's actually a pretty interesting, dark roller coaster. So it'll be a quick video. And then a couple of other vlogs from Hershey Park, and my last vlog from Disney where we actually rode Slinky Dog roller coaster. That's coming soon. So, but yeah, looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to being live again. And gentlemen, stand by, because I might be wanting to do some collaborations on my live streams with you guys in the next month or two.
Ooh, that's awesome. I love when you come on my channel. So
Yeah, brother. I'm happy to bring you over to mine. That'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, and actually, I got my hard stop too, so I'm gonna go ahead and punch out of here. But Dean, Rob, Derick, this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on as a guest and just getting some amazing ideas. Bob Chapek, you're out there. Take these into account.
Get closer, dude. Get in there. Get in there.
Do it now.
You got to do Mickey before you go, too.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
He's got to take a drink. Hold on. Best Mickey impersonation.
Well, looks like Bob Chapek is CEO. I think he's swell. That's all I got.
Awesome. Definitely check out Roadtrip. Link is below. Take care, Dave. Good to see you, brother. Can't wait to see you soon.
Laters, guys. Y'all have a good night.
And then there is 3, ladies and gentlemen. So Derick and Gregor, D&G Explorers, they just got back from the Star Wars cruise.
They did.
Which was awesome. I can't wait to see all that stuff. So go ahead, talk about D&G Explorers. You guys go live every Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. How can I follow that? I mean, Mickey Mouse. That should be the mic. That should be the. We love Disney, and we love cruising. We're currently releasing our Norwegian cruise line, the escape videos that we took up to Canada. We have quite a bit of that before, probably about another 2 months before we jump into our Disney cruise. Our goal is to bring the Disney family and the cruising family together, and those of you who've never been on a cruise before to say, hey, is this something that I would do? So that is our purpose of the videos. Currently on this one, we're saying how much it costs. So we're showing you because we're not doing it for me and Greg. So for me, how much it's costing for the stuff that I buy on board. So what the original cost was, and everything we buy, like souvenirs, drinks, but everything on the ship, to give you a total cost of the reality of what it is to cost to go on a cruise.
Good.
So we go live, like you said, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we also are part of the 5 Foolish Mortals. So Jim is a part of that. Charlie from the Disney Nerd Herders, Greg, me, and also Ben from Pepper Villas. So we are doing probably the next one is going to be in April. If you guys missed the one from last Saturday, it was on Pepper Villas channel. And they said Pepper Villa came up with these questions. They said that it was very easy. I beg to differ. But if you haven't checked that out, we had a great time on that. So check that out. And thank you for all your support. We're almost at 1,600 subscribers. I think we're at 7 away from that. So we're super close.
It's awesome.
Thank you, Derick.
Thank you.
Good to connect with you on the live stream. We did actually talk about collabing earlier. So I'm glad and hope to do it again soon.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course, my channel, Robfuz. I go live pretty much every Friday. My nephew, Frankie, he's going to Disney World in 2 days. He is not with me this week. We're doing Pub Talk, me, Adam, and I believe Dan are going to be doing Pub Talk this Friday, 5 o'clock. So if you want to check it out, I do retro videos. I do travel videos. And I like these guys come on my channel too. So we have a lot of fun. So, and of course, the Live Place. He doesn't want to talk about it. TheLivePlace.com, Dreamers Empire channel and the Live Place YouTube channel. Check it out. Congratulations on, Congratulations, D, on 500 subscribers. Last time we were at like 3 something, and now it's like 500. So D's been at Disney World since, and it's the last show. And congratulations, awesome. So I'm very proud of you. He's doing awesome,
guys. And I'll just say, and I obviously I owe a lot of my growth to Rob because he's great friend, good shouting out at our channels and always helping all of us grow. And as far as the live place goes, we do have some stuff. Always thinking, where can we take this? I think where live streaming is going is very exciting. So I've been definitely talking with some of the other streamers in this community. We got some fun stuff. For me, May is going to be a big month, and I'll tell you more about that on my new show, which is March 10th. Will be the same time on a Tuesday night. So let me think if there's anything else I had here. And I think just too, and Rob, if you have any thoughts, is we started with this idea. What could we do with the fifth gate? We've started with show one, talking about what would be the theme of it. We came up with 3 themes, but we talked about merging some of that. And then now tonight, with the help of Derick and Dave, and of course, Jim and Rob and I, we've come up with ride ideas, great ideas in the chat. We're going to take all of this and we're going to try to, in the end, come up with something that isn't just scattered, but it's something tangible. And I've even got one idea. I don't necessarily want to share it tonight to make it a little bit more fun. And so, anyway, thank you for joining us. It was a great time.
We had such a great chat. A lot of great people in the chat. Thank you, guys. I apologize. I didn't really get to talk much about the chat. I know Dean was popping the comments up, so that worked out great, Dean. So it was really good. So
yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're done here. Another good episode in the vault, the Disney vault. Crazy day if you're a Disney fan. To see a CEO just abruptly leave like that, and then take on the role of creative. So I hope he's all right. I'll be honest with you. I think he's great. In my park, I'd put a statue, a Bob Iger statue up there, kind of like, but that's me because I really like him. I admire him. I think he's really great. So, kind of like Walt and Mickey. Well, maybe Bob Iger and maybe Goofy or something. I don't know. Another character, not represented, whatever. But he just, I wish him luck. I hope he's fine. It just was kind of strange. It just, all right, I'm out of here. It just was a little bizarre, but he definitely deserves it. He definitely did great for the company, and I don't know. I wish him well. So I wish Bob Chapek well. He kind of looked like a deer in the headlights. He was interviewed on CNBC. He was like, "What? I'm the CEO? What?" It just was a little crazy today. So I hope them well. So
that was interesting. And then the stock dropped on it, which I would imagine is going to go back up.
Yeah, I think they did it late. So the stock thing and the big coronavirus and the other parks in Asia closed. It's tough for Disney, but that's the amazing thing about Disney. If we talked about it last episode too, the Imagineering show too. You saw the ups and downs of Disney, and unfortunately, this might be a little bit of a down, for Disney. But you have a statue of me, Bob. You got to earn that statue, buddy. All right, Dean. Any last thoughts? It's your channel.
Wanted to say hello to our good friend Scott. Good to have you here, my friend, and everyone else who joined. Sorry we didn't get to say hi personally, but no, that's it. Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you on March 24th for episode 3 of the Fifth Gate. Can't do that.
Take care of Bob Iger and Bob Chapek. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.